Hello, welcome to the Cisco Youth Theater. As you've seen, this is the 30th anniversary of the 30th anniversary of the CCIE program. Try to say that twice fast. And it's the year 2023, a certification program that's been around for 30 years. Is that really relevant today? Does that have relevance to the marketplace? Does it have relevance to you as an individual? Short answer to that is, of course, yes. And we're going to have a panel discussion here to talk about different perspectives, both from a Cisco Learning partners and our partner organization, about why career certifications all the way up to the CCIE are still relevant today in a cloud world, and how we've evolved the program to be relevant to you, both as an individual and your organizations. My name is Chuck Stickney. As I said, I am part of our Learning and Certifications organization. And with me, I've got three special guests here, Matthias, Joe, and Tasha. I'm gonna have them introduce themselves and what they do. Go ahead, Matthias.
Testing. Yeah, okay. So. Hello? Can I?
Here you go.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Any better? Yeah, this is better. Maybe we should throw this one out. My name is Matthias Prokop. I'm the Technology Director in Natilik. We are Cisco Gold Partner, headquartered in London, offices in the US and in Australia.
I'm Joe Vlasic. I'm Director of CX for TD Synnex. We're a Cisco distributor, largest Cisco distributor, and I'm really pleased to be on the panel today. Thank you. Share this.
Let's hope this works. Okay. My name is Tasha Clares. I'm with Cisco's Global Partner Organization. I'm a leader in the partner marketing team, and I'm here representing market research that we've done in partner marketing, what our customers have to say about the CCIE certification.
Great, and we'll apologize for some of the audio issues. We'll try to work through that as we go. We'll continue on. So as I mentioned, we've been doing the career certification process in Cisco for well over 30 years, the CCIE level for 30 years now. And we want to make sure that we're talking about how that is still, how we maintain the relevancy of that, how we've matured it, how we keep it to be applicable to the way the market is moving in today's world. Whether that is the inclusion of things such as software. 3 years ago when we introduced the DevNet certifications, how we take all of our career certifications and include software components for that to help bridge the gap between our software focus as well as our hardware focus. And then on the traditional certifications like the CCIE, the CCNP, we include software components of that, and we're evolving it with the way the market goes to make sure that we're making you relevant to enable a cloud environment as well as a traditional on-prem environment. My journey with this is very similar to many of you folks here, starting at the very introductory level, starting as a CCNA, working my way to a CCNP, and then to the CCIE, and continuing to evolve that. As a certified individual, it's about maintaining your relevancy as an individual and finding new ways to apply it. So I'm also a DevNet specialist, focusing on programmability for our IoT space. So starting out as a route switch guy, focusing on software and even industrial networking, trying to broaden the applicability and the relevancy of my individual skills as it relates to what the marketplace is looking for. Matthias, I know you're also going down a certification journey. Can you tell the crowd how you've seen your career work?
Yeah, sure. So I've started working in the industry 20 plus years ago, mainly around the Linux. That was where I started back in long time ago, and it was kind of like different place and to start. It wasn't really any certifications. The networking was usually what do you study on the internet. That was my way how I was upskilling. But Cisco, I started working with Cisco about 15 years ago, and as Chuck said, I had a pretty much the same journey, starting through the routing switching. What has been quite exciting recently was when 4 or 5 years ago we started working with DevNet more closely. So I think for the last 3 or 4 years, my sort of journey when it comes to these certifications is the DevNet path. I find it very exciting, very interesting, sort of like, building on top of the experience I had in the routing switching field. And then beside that, since we were talking about the cloud and all these skills, in a parallel, I was trying to also expand my skills in the cloud providers. So I've been doing some exams around the AWS, Azure, GCP, some Kubernetes exams, which are really good. I would highly recommend them. So yeah, that was my journey.
I wish we had gone this in ascending order. Those are hard to follow. So I also started like Chuck in the traditional routing and switching path. I came up through Networking Academy, which is a phenomenal program, and got a chance to sample a lot of the certification specializations. As a leader on the team, I find myself not going as deep on the roles, but I've got been able to go into things like CyberOps and DevNet. In fact, Chuck helped us get into kind of the ground floor on DevNet there. I came out of the DevNet associate exam, went sort of the next day to my HR rep and opened up a hedge count. And the great thing is then I can hire somebody and he can have to do the higher level, the tough ones. So I also, as part of this, gotten to experience some of the certifications got more eclectic over years. So they have things like CSM certifications now. They have a lot more focus specialists. I remember when I started this, there was sort of this monolithic routing and switching path, and now it seems to be about 100 different ways to become Cisco, get Cisco laurels now. So it's phenomenal.
Let's try this with this mic. I have a different perspective, probably the least technical person on this panel. Do not have a CCIE or a CCNP or a CCNA. So you're probably like, why is this lady up here talking to us? I live with a CCIE. My husband's a CCIE. I have a lot of friends and family, and I've been surrounded by them. So my perspective on the CCIE certification comes from a place of seeing how the CCIE certification has helped people that I'm close to be successful in their careers, be successful with their customers. And also from a partner, being in the partner marketing team here at Cisco, we do a lot of analyst research around these types of things, learning certifications, relevance, the importance of things like the CCIE. And I'll be sharing with you a little bit of that work here shortly. But just wanted to say that I think not only is the CCIE relevant to our customers based on the research that we've done, but there's a lot of other things like partner specializations and certifications. If there are partners in the room, you're probably familiar with that in addition to the individual certifications. So hopefully I have a chance to talk about that today.
Great. Thanks, everyone. So, Joe, you had mentioned as you've kind of ascended your career into leadership, you're not necessarily focusing on your individual career certifications, but you're building teams to do that. Can you talk about how you're structuring organizationally to make sure that you're providing the technical skills and capabilities that your end partners and customers are looking to utilize?
Sure. So, broad question. As a global distributor, we have a lot of capabilities and a lot of teams out there, and we have many areas of technical investment. On the CX team in particular, we have a focus on the software, the recurring revenue side. So I don't know if you've ever seen a CX around here at Cisco Live, but it's kind of a big deal now. They have folks who have invested in certainly the CSM certification out there. The DevNet practice, as I said, we launched in that. We're also seeing a lot more overlap and bleed through between traditional people who have done the traditional engineering path and sort of CX topics that are bleeding over quite a bit. You had a conversation a little bit about, we had some of our security resources who were trying to figure out the licensing for Cisco ICE. And, we see quite a bit of that where we've got people who are investing in the traditional tracks. We're trying to make those investments in the organization, but then we're finding that we need to sort of round them out a little bit and make additional investments to make sure that they've got all the skills they need to do their day-to-day job.
So you're leveraging those technical skills to be able to help you at the business process level to be able to better serve your clients, helping keep that relevancy at the technical level as well. Matthias, I know from you you're also leading teams and building out organizations. How do you see that work for the types of expectations you have for your teammates?
So I think for my team, like when we hire, I'll take it from the hiring process. When I'm hiring someone into my team, certifications are not necessarily the first thing I'm looking at, but it's definitely something which is important for me. Not necessarily about, okay, this person is CCIE, that person must know lots of stuff. For me, it's important to know that that person is a deep thinker and deep learner. That's for me, more important thing. We're living, and I know it's maybe a little bit controversial, maybe a little bit too deep, but I think we're living in a world it's hard to keep focus. It's hard to do the deep thinking and deep learning. And I think CCIE, from my perspective, the biggest value is that you are actually able to do deep learning and deep, and upskilling in a way where not many people can do that. What certifications then after hiring is giving to my team is some sort of a skill map. So we're using certifications to sort of helping people to progress in the team, going into more and more specialized sort of the area, or if they can decide, they can move away and take a step out and focusing on the architecture level. So there are certifications for the architects as well. So really for us, these certifications internally in a team is to define these skill sets and skill maps in a team.
So as you're building that out, did you see for either of you the certifications that you had and kind of that thirst for knowledge, the requirements or the drive to improve your own skills and capabilities? Do you think that helped you ascend in your career path to the point where you are running and operating teams today?
Absolutely. And I'm still doing exams. I'm still trying to not necessarily doing everything, because I think that's the biggest challenge in these days. Back in the days when the CCIE was the king, there was basically the on-prem world and nothing else. Now it's obviously way more challenging. You have cloud. I think what we're seeing now around the AI ML, that's going to be 10 years ago, we've seen this explosion of skills around the cloud. I think we're about to see the explosion of the skills in the AI ML and new certifications in that field. So, there will be way more certifications. I'm trying to pass some exams, which I think are relevant, but it's hard to keep up. But yeah, definitely helps.
Yeah, I think definitely you probably walk around and you get a lot of stories about people who've gotten career boosts from doing this. And I think, as Matthias said, I think you put it really well, because no individual certification necessarily is I think it kind of cheapens it to say checkbox for that there. But if you see somebody who's got a progression, who's got a commitment, who's got obviously lifelong learning as part of that, that is a big deal. And I think, especially with Cisco, it is still very much a known entity. The certification market has exploded. And I think, those of us who put that, if you put certifications into Google and they learn that you like certifications, you get something every single day, and you get, emails. Do you want to become a cloud security, malware, data architect, what have you? I think Cisco still very much has a brand there that has a weight that a learner knows is going to get a good return on investment for that. And then that still stands out on, a resume, a LinkedIn, a conversation out there. It may not be as the king all there, but I think it's always a known quantity and what it takes to get that.
Yeah, I was just going to add, the CCIE has an incredible amount of brand equity. We wouldn't be here 30 years later, it is, if the CCIE wasn't what it is. So don't forget that. We're not here to tell you that it's not important. But I think it's important to know that as the certification market gets more crowded and more shiny objects pop up and more companies are on the map, that at the end of the day, Cisco is still the underlying infrastructure into most of what these other technology companies rely on to do their business. And so, our customers, in the survey that we did with TechIsle, one of our analysts, we surveyed almost 300 of our commercial and enterprise customers, not our customers, but just commercial and enterprise customers across the globe. And they all said 80+% valued individual certifications and partner certifications as a reason to do business with you as a partner, as a company. So they're looking for that. And so it's not lost on us that yes, there's a lot out there and it's clouding up the market a little bit, but that there is still an intrinsic need for the CCIE and the certification path that leads to a CCIE. So I'll say you don't have to get to that pinnacle, that CCIE level to have value, to have those marks on your, not only your resume, but for your company to be valued. And I think that journey to get there is part of, something I know, Chuck, you feel strongly about. So
Yeah, and I'll follow on your cloudy pun there, which was well done. After this session, you can look behind you, and we're talking about our certification roadmap. We have announced 3 new certifications focusing on cloud. So take some time and work and walk to the booth there. You can see the roadmap and the outline of what those certifications are going to entail to really help drive that, again, to get that career progression, because getting all the way to the CCIE is important, but I'm still taking new certifications and looking for new areas to go. Matthias, you're running a team now, and you just finished the DevNet professional, so it's a continuous learning irrespective of where you are in your career. So I think that's always important. But Tasha, as far talking about the customer side of it, what do you see do you see it different across the various technology stacks where customers are looking for certified individuals as well as partners with competencies and practices?
yeah, so I'll take that in 2 different ways. So let's talk about the customers first. How many of you here are customers of Cisco? How many of you are partners of Cisco? Okay, so pretty even split here. So we, in this research that we did, this analyst research, we interviewed commercial and enterprise customers. And it's interesting that different customer markets value different types of certifications differently. So in the commercial market, number 1 was app development. They wanted app developers, and second to that was security solutions. So yes, we have all of those things. And most people think Cisco's just networking. So that's one thing I'd point out. In the enterprise space, however, number 1 certification favorability was security solutions. Number 1 above anything in the enterprise space, followed by automation and analytics. As you go down the stack, there were a lot of other things, cloud and whatnot, and networking was there, but it was kind of at the bottom. So, but that's to say that you still need all of those things, even if right now app development and security are what's hot. I think it's really important that you kind of know what your customers are looking for. And going back to the market being clouded with lots of certifications, if you know what your customers are looking for, then maybe you can dial up in one area or over another. You don't have to be all things in all areas.
I would say, that's one of the things that Cisco's done really well in this. I mean, you have a Cisco brand that has a lot of weight in the marketplace, but you got such a varied portfolio within it that you can have somebody who, if you've done DevNet professional, congratulations. I have an idea of what the level of effort is within that. And I've got, even if I don't carry that certification, I've got a good sense of what it took to do that. And I think, a lot of times we're talking about the certification itself, but I think, you have an appreciation for what goes into that. You've got a common lexicon, you've got a common experience between people who have those certifications. And that community, the way that Cisco has really, I think, expanded that to include more people as part of that sense of community, I think it's really been great.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think with the customers, it's interesting what you were saying about different priorities, different sort of the verticals, and I certainly see it. Yeah, when I'm thinking about it, we're working with lots of finance and insurance companies, and even between those two, it's a big difference. How they sort of evaluate these certifications. So, yeah.
I will add one more thing just to leave you guys with some numbers and some stats. So 79% of the folks that we did this survey with responded that they valued both certifications and specializations. So here at Cisco, we have individual certifications, like we're talking about the CCIE, it's very individual based. Specializations, as a lot of partners in the room, I think here you have to go down these tracks or these paths to be specialized in IoT or hybrid work or you name it. I don't know them all, but that's really important to our customers, in addition to having those various, the people that can go deep So I'll give you a couple areas that they said their top focus were in terms of those partner specializations, not just the certifications. And the top three were DevOps, so cloud solutions, and security for users and devices. So across all of our customers, those were the top three areas of focus for them right now in terms of those specializations, being able to deliver on customer outcomes in those three areas.
Yeah, and with those three areas, so when we say CCIE, I'm a route switch CCIE guys, and I think many of us assume, yeah, we're talking route switch. But we have security CCIEs, we have collaboration CCIEs, we have data center CCIEs, which lend itself into cloud. We have the new cloud certifications, and we have the DevNet expert as well. So while we don't call it a CCIE, it's a CCIE level that focuses on DevNet and software and automation, which really covers those three primary areas you're talking about. So I think that helps demonstrate the relevancy and the impact of these. What I'm going to ask is, we're getting close to short on time here, so I'm going to have everyone go down the line here and give their closing thoughts and what you see. What would you like to finish with, Matthias?
I will finish definitely on no one, please be worried about that CCIE is going away or like instantly value, like not at all. We will still need the CCIEs. I need the CCIEs in my team. I can see one of these CCIEs standing in there from our team. So yeah, definitely staying with us, guys.
I would add, we talked a lot about formal certifications in the panel there. I think, one of the things that we've discussed with Cisco Learning are things that they're doing supplemental to that. Things like Cisco U. I think the Black Belt program is quite good. I think there's a lot of things that as Cisco shifts over to software, they're moving very, very fast and much faster than Cisco Press can write it down and put it into a textbook and get it out at the Cisco store. So, what we're seeing is people who are still investing in those certifications for all the reasons we've talked about. They're still very important to understand the technology, but a lot of demand for things like understanding around process, customer success. We have a lot of software questions out there. We have a lot of business outcome questions out there. People who I think. You talk about the breaking down of the silos of traditional technology stacks, server storage network, but are really breaking down between technology and business. And I see a lot of people with certifications who are very, very technically savvy, who say, I'd like to go beyond that. That's really not enough for me to be an effective professional anymore. I would like to do things like, micro content to learn about, parts of the business, things like licensing, consumption, true forward, all my other things. And I think, Cisco's been quite good there in making additional platforms, additionally, so you don't have to do a traditional certification for each one of those.
Not being the CCIE on the panel, I don't know that I can give you all good CCIE advice, but I will say if you're on that journey, stay the course. It will be worth it for you. As I mentioned, someone who lives with one, my husband's a CCIE wireless. It was a long, enduring road, but it's paid off dividends, not only for him and his career, but also for the customers that he is able to service. They write that into RFPs. We want a CCIE wireless. Like they look for that as something that's of value to them to be able to deliver on their business outcomes. So I will just say from the partner community who's here, if anybody wants access or additional information on the research that I shared, it's more than just the few stats that I gave out. Just see me after. Happy to do that. And thanks for having us.
All right, thanks everyone. I think I really appreciate this. It's been a very engaging and fun conversation between us, and I hope the audience has really seen that and come away with a good understanding of the relevance of CCIEs and the career path that it takes to get there, even in today's world. And again, the CCIE is not just about route switch. It covers all of our technologies for routing, for security, for data center, collaboration, and DevNet. So there's a place for you to go that is continuing to track with the way the market is leading and still maintaining your relevance and your value to the organization that you're serving, whether you're serving customers as a partner or you are an end customer and you're delivering value to your end clients. We are here to help you from a career progression standpoint. We've talked about Cisco U. You can view, we're in the Cisco U Theater. You can go learn about the new Cisco U learning platform. And as I mentioned, you can learn about the new certification blueprint exams for cloud that we're releasing. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for your time. Remind you that we do have our surveys, and you do have the opportunity to win some fantastic socks. And with that, thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of Cisco Live, and have fun at the celebration tonight.